Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a Should You Summon for Juna, White Royal Guard, and Logy, Twilight Order for the new Paragon's Knights Legends Fest. Let's get to it! Let's start off with Juna. Here we have Juna. She is a stab attacker. Her gifts are Stab Curse, Destructive Power Boost, and Stab Damage Boost. Her synthesis colors are yellow and blue. Looking at her gifts, I don't mind her gifts. I kind of like her gifts a lot. I like the Stab Curse, especially when you're going to be crafting like items for your stab teams. It's going to be really helpful because you're going to be reducing the enemy's stab resistance by like whatever amount you end up like crafting, and that's like really nice. It's gonna be really helpful. And then as far as the destructive power boost goes, I really like destructive power boost, especially when you're crafting battle items to do damage to the enemy. With destructive power boost, you can like get it to do like a little bit more damage, which is always like really nice. If you get it at like rainbow stats, it's gonna be like 54%. And then as far as the stab damage boost goes, I really like the stab damage boost. As far as I know, the only other character that has stab damage boost right now is like Mew, and like um, the more characters that have different kinds of affinity boosts is like better, like so if you get them, that's like really good. I really like the stab damage boost a lot. I like that her synthesis colors are yellow and blue. I know there's like a lot of combinations that she can like work with. Like what is it? Stab damage boost, physical power up, and like skill power up. Like all those three would be like really good for her, and I really am enjoying her gifts. Pretty good. Let's check out Juna's stats. Her stats are as follows. Her HP is 1668, her physical attack is 700, her magic attack is 611, her speed is 223, her physical defense is 522, and her magic defense is 522 as well. Looking at her stats are like they're like okay. She doesn't have the highest like physical attack like out of the current 3-star attackers that we have, but her physical attack is still pretty high at 700. Like it's not that bad. I kind of like it. And then as far as her speed goes, her speed is at an okay place at 223. She's like not the fastest by any means, but she's also like not the slowest. She's like somewhere like in the middle. Yeah, no, her stats aren't too bad. I don't mind them. Let's move on to Juna's skills. Here we have Juna, White Royal Guard for the Paragon Knights Legends Fest. Her skills are as follows. Her skill 1 is after attacking, give yourself agility plus 5%, and it maxes out at 10%. It has a wait time of 75, the range is single target, the power is 101, and the break is 10. Looking at Juna's first skill, I kind of like Juna's first skill a lot because it gives her agility, which is like speed, and it makes her faster, and that's always like really nice, especially when you're trying to like overlap an enemy. That's going to be like really helpful. I also noticed that her wait time for her first skill is 75. It's like a lot less than like everyone else's, and that's like really nice. I feel like it's going to make it like a little bit easier to like manipulate your turns. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it feels like that. Yeah, no, her first skill is pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's move on to Juna's second skill. Her skill 2 is before attacking, give yourself skill damage plus 20% and it maxes out at 60%, as well as when the target's HP is less than 50%, damage plus 50%. It has a wait time of 200, the range is single target, the power is 326, and the break is 43. Looking at her second skill, I kind of like her second skill a lot too. I like that it boosts her skill damage by 20% every time she uses it, and it doesn't say it ever goes away. It just caps out at 60%. So if she uses her skill like 3 times, she's gonna have like an extra 60% damage, and that's always like really nice. As well as like if the target has less like HP than like 50% or like 50% or less, she's gonna be doing a little bit more damage, 50% more. That's always really nice, especially to like finish off enemies. I think that's gonna be like really helpful. Yeah, no, her second skill is like pretty good. I like it a lot too. Alright, let's check out Juna's burst. Her burst is before the attack removes all damage down stats of the target, as well as grants skill damage plus 30% to yourself, and this cannot be duplicated, as well as when the target's HP is less than 50%, damage plus 100%. It has a wait time of 200, the range is single target, the power is 500, and the break is 93. Looking at Juna's burst, I kind of really like Juna's burst a lot, especially because she removes damage down stats on the enemy, and damage down stats are like usually like defense buff, so they have like magic resistance or like fire resistance or any type of resistance. She's gonna be able to remove it with her burst, and that's kind of like really really good. I like that a lot. I also like that she grants herself skill damage plus 30% with the burst. It says it can't be duplicated, so it means that we're only going to be getting that skill damage plus 30% once, and we're not going to get it like anymore, so it's not going to like stack. Um, which is all right. I wish it stacked, but you know, skill damage plus 30% is a good amount already. Um, I I like that she increases her damage by 100% when the enemy is at 50% HP or less. It means she's gonna be able to like pop them pretty hard if they're like at like 50% or less. Um, yeah, no, her burst is pretty good. I like it a lot. Okay, lastly, I wanted to check out Juna's passives. Her passives are when defeating an enemy with a skill, give yourself physical attack plus 10%, and it maxes out at 30%. And then her second passive is skill damage plus 40% when attacking a target in break state. Looking at her passives, I think I kind of like her passives a lot. I like that whenever she defeats an enemy, she's gonna be getting like 10% more physical attack, and it maxes out at 30%. If you take the 30% into consideration with like the rest of the other like buffs that she gets, it turns out to be like a pretty good amount of like increased damage, and like that's really really nice as long as like we defeat an enemy. As far as her second passive goes, I think her second passive is kind of interesting. It means that she's definitely going to be on a team with a Breaker to get that increased skill damage plus 40% because it only counts when they're like in break state. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. But I think it's because she came out with Logy, and, Logy's supposed to help with the breaking. But yeah, no, her passive 2 is like pretty interesting. I think I like it because usually you want to attack the enemy when they're in their break state anyways to do increased damage. So this is just gonna help her do like a lot more damage, especially like I said before, if you take into consideration like the rest of her kit's like buffs that she gets. Yeah, overall, Juna is like a really really solid stab attacker. She's gonna be like pretty good, like especially in like the stab affinity tower. Um, yeah, no, she removes damage down from the enemy. She buffs herself, and if the enemy has 50% HP or less, she's gonna be attacking for a lot harder. So yeah, overall, she's a pretty good character. Alrighty, let's move on to Logy. Here we have Logy. He is a Bolt Breaker. His gifts are Chaser Charge, Bolt Curse, and Magic Stun Damage Boost. His synthesis colors are yellow and green. Looking at his gifts, I don't mind his gifts. Actually, I think I like his gifts. I think that the Chaser Charge is pretty interesting. It's gonna boost damage to stun enemies by like 6 to 54%. But they have to be stunned. But he's also a breaker, so that helps him a lot with that. Um, I don't use Chaser Charge too often, but I'm sure that I could like find a good couple items to put him on, and it'll be helpful. And then as far as Bolt Curse goes, I really like Bolt Curse a lot too, because as long as you're going to be playing on like a Bolt team, this is going to be helpful to reduce the enemy's Bolt resistance, which is going to help increase your Bolt damage in return. So, that's always really, really nice. I kind of don't mind that gift a lot. And then as far as his last gift goes, I really like a magic stun damage boost a lot because I'm always looking for different types of magic stun damage, physical stun damage, or just stun damage in general to like improve my breakers like stun. But you know, I kind of having a hard time finding like good combinations here and there. So him having magic stun damage boost as well as him having a yellow and blue, I mean a yellow and green synthesis color is going to help a lot, especially if you end up getting him. It's going to help you craft like better like break items uh, in the long run, which is really really good. Yeah, no, his gifts are pretty good. I like them. Let's move on to Logy's stats. Here we have Logy's stats. His HP is 1,579, his physical attack is 589, his magic attack is 667, his speed is 251, his physical defense is 545, and lastly, his magic defense is 500. Looking at Logy's stats, I don't mind Logy's stats. I see that he has 667 magic attack. That's like a decent amount of magic attack, but he's just a breaker, so you know I don't know how much damage he's really gonna be doing. But his magic attack is at an okay place. Not the highest out of the 3-star breakers that we have, but you know, not the lowest either. As far as his speed goes, I really like his speed. His speed being at 251 makes him like the second fastest 3-star breaker that we have, which is always really, really nice. I like when my characters have more speed and stuff, so you know, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, his stats are okay. They're not bad. His speed is really good. Yeah. Let's check out Logy's skills. Here we have Logy, Twilight Order, for the Paragon Knights Legends Fest. His skills are as follows. His skill 1 is, after attacking, apply break damage plus 25% to yourself for 2 turns. It has a wait time of 100, the range is single target, the power is 46, and the break is 18. Looking at Logy's first skill, I don't mind Logy's first skill at all. It boosts his break damage by 25%. I think that's like a pretty good amount. And it's not only for 1 turn, it's for 2 turns, which is like pretty nice. I like that a lot about it. Um, the break is not too high on it, but you know, it increases your break damage, so it should help with like your burst and your skill 2. So yeah, his skill 1 is pretty good. I like it. Let's check out Logy's skill 2. His skill 2 is, when the target breaks, give critical chance plus 100% to the ally with the highest magic attack for 1 turn. It has a wait time of 200, the range is single target, the power is 182, and the break is 145. Looking at his skill 2, I really, really like his skill 2 because if we manage to break the enemy with his skill 2, it's going to give the ally with the highest magic attack 100% critical chance, which means that they're guaranteed to crit, which is always really, really nice. And it being tied to a breaker is also really nice because it means that your breaker is helping you crit, and I kind of like that. I like that a lot. The break for his skill 2 is not too high, but like if you use your skill 1 before his skill 2, it should help with that. Um, there's also items to help like increase the break damage too, and all that should help. I just really like that it has the 100% critical rate. That's really really nice. His skill 2 is pretty good. I like it. Alrighty, let's check out Logy's burst. His burst is, after attacking, give the target magic attack damage received plus 25% until it is attacked once, as well as when the target breaks, give critical chance plus 100% to the ally with the highest magic attack for 1 turn. It has a wait time of 200, the range is AoE, the power is 240, and the break is 150. Looking at his burst is like pretty good. I like it. I like that it reduces the enemy's magic resistance as well as it gives 100% critical rate if we end up breaking the enemy. It's going to be really helpful in like magic teams, especially if you like end up breaking the enemy. Anybody that does a good amount of magic damage is really going to like these two buffs together. It's going to be like pretty good. I like it. I like his burst a lot. I noticed that the break is not too high. It only has 150 break, but um, his passive, like this one, should help him with the break as well as this one. I'll go over them in a second. Um, and then as well as his skill 1, if you end up using it before your burst, you know, that'll like also increase your break. So there's things to buff up that break amount like here and there. There's also items, so you know, you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, no, his burst is pretty good. I like it. Okay, let's check out those passives I was talking about. His passive one is when an attack target's break gauge is over 50%, break damage plus 30%. And then his second passive is break damage plus 15%. Looking at his passives, I kind of like his passives. As long as the enemy's break gauge is over 50%, he's gonna just have a flat out 30% break damage increase, and that's like really really nice. It's gonna help with like all of his skills, to help them break a little bit better. And then his second passive, I really like his second passive a lot because it just flat out gives him break damage plus 15%. It just means that all of his skills are going to be breaking 15% more, and that's like really, really nice. I like it. Yeah, overall, Logy is going to be like a solid crit buffing uh, bolt breaker who is supposed to help you increase your magic damage as well as make sure that your magic attackers are going to be critting 100% of the time as long as they are in the break state from him. Yeah, he's a pretty good character. Yeah, overall, Logi is going to be a pretty solid breaker who increases your crit rate by 100% as long as, the enemy gets broken by him. But it's only for the ally with the highest magic attack, so he's meant for like your magic attack damage dealers. His burst also increases how much damage that enemy is going to be taking from magic attacks, so that's really, really good. Like I said, he's going to be a really good breaker for magic attackers as well as magic attack teams. Yeah, he's a pretty solid unit. Okay, you guys, lastly, I wanted to check out the Memoria. The Memoria is called Silver Snow Delight. I really like how this Memoria looks. I like that Logy and Roman are in the background. I also really, really like that they're sitting on top of a giant, cute teddy bear. Um, it makes me like it a little bit more. But yeah, that's besides the point. Let's get to the ability effect. The ability effect is when attack target is stunned, boost single target attack skill damage by 8% to 69% at higher refinements. At level 30, the HP is 18%, the physical attack is 31%, the magic attack is 16%, the speed is 4%, the physical defense is 13%, and the magic defense is 13%. Looking at this Memoria is actually really, really good. The only thing that it states is that the enemy has to be stunned. That's the only caveat about it. But it doesn't state any specific affinity or any specific type or any other condition. So it's like pretty good. It's really easy to activate. You just have to have a stunned enemy. Um, Looking at the stats, it has higher physical attack than magic attack. I don't like that about it, but the higher physical attack is going to be really helpful for like physical attack damage dealers, and that's pretty good. Um, but yeah, no, this Memoria is like a really, really solid Memoria. It increases your uh, single target attack skill damage by 69% at max refinement, and that's like a really substantial amount of like damage increase. Yeah, it's really good. I like it. Okay, guys, lastly, I wanted to go over whether or not we should be summoning on this banner. I think for this banner, you should only be using your tickets for here. Yes, I know that Juno and Logy are both solid characters. Juno is a pretty strong stab damage dealer, as well as Logy is a pretty good bolt breaker. But there are like a couple characters coming out soon. I think they're called Rose Warriors. I think there's six of them, and like four out of like the six are like really, really good. And you want to try snagging them up before you try getting anybody else. Um, yeah. As far as like the Memoria goes, the Memoria is pretty good, but like I said, you should like try to save your gems for like those Rose Warriors. Yeah, this banner is definitely only use your tickets. If you really, really want to, you can use your gems, but I would definitely suggest saving them. Yeah. Okay, guys, that should be it for the video. I would like to wish you guys all good luck on all your wishes. I hope you get somebody. If you guys liked the video and if you guys like my channel or found any of this information helpful, please make sure to leave a like and a subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.